everybody, and welcome back to the Amazon EU Masters. We're getting ready to go into our second game of the day. This is going to be Anorthosis Famagusta taking on LDLC. LDLC previously losing to X7 from the NLC, so looking to try and regain some of their confidence coming into that second week. And Anorthosis still 0-2 overall in the standings, so not having the most hot group stages so far, but they had a really solid play-ins, right?
I mean, through play-ins, they actually stomped through it. They were in the same group as JDXL, one of the favorites to make it through, and they left them behind. 5-1 in the group through play-ins. They went through that best of 3 as well, 2-1, and now they joined pretty much a group that is called the Group of Death, right? And they joined it as a dark horse. Now, of course, being 0-2 and playing a team that came in not just in spring, but in summer as well, as the tournament favorites for LDLC, being able to take a victory off of them ties you with them at this point. So Anorthosis should try to do their best right here, pulling out an upset victory versus LDLC will give them chances. And actually, the funny thing is, I have my dad, and he believes he's an analyst in League of Legends. We're going to leave this behind, but he did tell me that LDLC and Anorthosis are the two teams coming out of this group. So I guess we'll see how this goes today.
Fair enough. Well, the bans are going through.
Whoa,
we're seeing
that was fast.
an instant Kalista lock in here for Anorthosis. It feels like they've got something ready to play here. And the question is now does LDLC have an answer? Or are they just going to try and play a little bit more standard, play towards that? When you see this Kalista show up, you do kind of expect to see the Thresh as a kind of pair up for that. So there is kind of things you got to keep in mind on that front. But LDLC just could lock in something a little bit more standard in the Sejuani, flexible as well between that top and jungle role.
Yeah, and usually a big counter to Kalista down the bot side of the map is Ashe, because her auto attack has that slow glued to it. So it is one of them. Zillion is just another one. It's like anything that will stop you from moving too fast, anything that will stop you from getting closer. Now, of course, Sejuani is a meatball for the team fight. Azir is also another champion that really makes it really difficult for Kalista to play the game, because she has to navigate herself around the Sun Soldiers if she wants to do that damage. And now, of course, we've seen Kalista Taric was one of JDXL's strategies, if you will, to get through that plains group, and it did work. Usually something that is paired up with the Kalista is the Nautilus, the Leonas, the Rels, anything that you can grab, throw in, something even like the Amumu, and whoa, okay. So we're chatting a little bit previously about Daglas and how he likes his hard-scaling junglers like the Bel'Veth, which has been banned away, resorting towards something like a Lillia together with Dominance Irelia is a really strong pairing.
Well, you can see Exakick goes back to a pick that we have seen a few times from him here at the Amazon EU Masters, the Draven, as his pick up into that Kalista. You want something that can kind of hassle and kind of deal with it in lane, and Draven is a pretty solid pick on that front. We'll see what this ban phase is going to look to do. You probably want to take out like things like this Nautilus, things that can kind of lock Draven down, because he's very telegraphed in his movements, because there's a big marker on the ground that says this is where Draven will be standing, because he wants to keep his axes going.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other hand side, you want to take any pairings that are good for Draven, but honestly, like something like the Nautilus is a pretty good pairing for the Draven right here. So I'd like to see what DOS chooses to go with. I was thinking even maybe something like a Rel has really good engage together with Sejuani that gets taken out. So what options do you have for iLevi here? Because maybe something like an Alistar could also work for the side of Anorthosis. They're going to ban that Renata as well. So Leona, I'm thinking possibly there's something like even a Braum or an Alistar. Oh. Yeah.
The Fresh is up as well, though.
Wait.
No, they go for the grab. Oh, this is going to be such an exciting game. I am cheering for the Greek team now. I am like, there's nothing LDLC can lock in here that can sway my opinion more now. What do they need? They need a top laner or a jungler. So we'll break that down in a moment. We'll see what their answer is going to be here for the side of LDLC. It looks like, yeah, they're going to be sending that Sejuani into the top lane as expected. They're going to lock in the Viego. Trouble, have fun. Talk to me about Anorthosis.
I'm just gonna talk about that Viego pick first of all, because I find it absolutely freaking genius. Every single champion from the side of Anorthosis does not necessarily need their ultimates to be an absolute menace in the fight. And if Yike manages to get any of these ghosts, he can have such huge impact with just the basic spells from all 5 of these champions. From the side of Anorthosis, we talked about them throwing a curveball, and hold on. I actually thought it was going to be Gragas support, but it's actually going to be...
No.
Yasuo support?
They might be swapping lane. They might swap lane in game. Like, there's a role that we get a player swap.
No.
That's not Yasuo support, man. We're not getting that, right? Trouble, have you ever casted a Yasuo support? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've actually never casted a Yasuo support, so I don't know what to expect.
We had Dominant last split. He was bringing out Garen jungle, okay? And now we have iLevi with coming in with the Yasuo support. I don't know what to say. I'm not qualified for this. I'm just a mere colocaster that does study the meta. And apparently that might be, you know, new meta that I need to learn about. So we can walk into this journey together, Hipbrain and chat.
I don't know what's going on at the GLL, but like they are just built different if they're picking Yasuo support. I'm amazed they didn't just go like Yone carry or Yone support with Yasuo bot lane. That would have been crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to kind of break down what we're expecting out of that. I think it's a little bit easier to talk about LDLC though, so maybe we'll do that. You obviously hit on with the Viego. It's a very good pick because while a lot of these champions, they use their ultimates very effectively, they're also, like you said, menaces without their ultimates. Like Irelia is still a nuisance. She doesn't need that ultimate to solo kill you. Same with the Lillia, same with the Gragas. So, you know, what is the rest of LDLC looking to do though?
I mean, for LDLC, I think it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do here, right? They've got a Draven, a pretty short-range AD carry, a really good counter into that Kalista as well, and you have created a big meat line in front of him, the Sejuani, the Leona, and then you have the Azir that creates so much space with the Sun Shoulders with the ultimate for you. Whilst on the other hand side for Anorthosis, you see how everyone wants to pile up onto their opponents. You get one knockup, which, now that I'm thinking about it, hold on. Kalista ulting Yasuo and dunking him into their opponents knocks opponents up, which means that iLevi can back-to-back ult. So Kalista ult into instant Yasuo ult. We've cracked the code, Hipbrain. There you go. It was like the
only thing this lane does, I'm worried. I do think, though, and what is genuinely going to be quite effective in lane, not that I'm justifying this, but what might actually be quite effective in lane is the wind wall. Because it stops Draven from actually catching the axe because it doesn't bounce off.
Okay.
Denying Draven axes early denies him so much damage. He has one axe right now. That's one wind wall. Yeah, exactly. One wind wall stops him from losing. There you go.
Okay.
And now his damage is low. Maybe a little early to use it, but...
Okay. Then he has another one. He has another one.
I'm huffing some serious copium trouble. I don't know. I'm trying to justify this pick.
Okay, so the big problem, of course, here is that Yasuo, when he walks melee range and that wind wall is actually down, you've got a bunch of CC lockdown with Leona and running the ignite. That is going to be so difficult for the Yasuo to like dash in and not get a bunch of hurt coming from the sort of Draven. And right here, what I'm seeing is actually two LDLC lanes, both mid and bot lane, that want to have control. You know, the Azir melee into ranged versus that Irelia. Of course, Ica's going to go for that exhaust because we all know the all-in potential coming in from the likes of an Irelia, right? But again, you have the range versus melee. He's able to control his lane. He's able to have his lane wherever he needs it. He's literally standing in front of his tower. So there isn't much dive potential from Dominant right here to try and get that 1v1 going versus Ica. And that bolts them up. We saw a little bit how it goes. You bring that wind wall up, it's fine. Draven doesn't have one axe. Draven has two. So even if you wind wall one of them, he'll wait for the wind wall to go down, and then he used the other one. So you can see still how oppressive this lane is. And now it starts becoming a little bit problematic, right? Because when you lock in that Kalista, you want that Kalista to snowball early game. And especially since you have really big front line like the Sejuani, like the Leona, you want to have this Kalista fed from early on to try and break down these HP bars.
Yeah, it's definitely picked themselves into a bit of an interesting lane. They could have just gone for the Fresh. I'm just saying it. Fresh has a pretty decent matchup into the Leona. It's also a pair that we know pairs up incredibly well with this Kalista as well. But, you know, maybe there's a world where a big 5-man Fate's Call Last Breath combo, Fate's Breath, as I'm going to term it now, could potentially change things around. But we're seeing actually Yike has been able to get into the jungle. I didn't see if he was able to get any camps for himself there, but has put down a lot of vision, which will spot out Daglas earlier. Well, early on the map when he's rotating around. Is for now just getting himself his crab. Yike will be aware that he was on this side of the map, so now that he's going to be able to move down and look to catch his camps, they will have some information on where this Lillia is as DOS jumps in.
Oh no,
she
it's a Yasuo
lot
support.
Of damage.
All right,
I'm surprised how much damage he took there. I guess he is only level 3, to be fair.
Real quickly though, now it forces Anorthosis to stay, or they're gonna miss an entire wave, because the second Anorthosis press B, if they go back to base, Exakick and DOS are gonna perma-shove the wave, which means that you're gonna be losing a cannon minion if you're golden toast. So now you're forced to stay because your back was actually interrupted by DOS. So it doesn't matter if DOS lost half his HP in this particular trade, because Golden Toast is now forced to stay. And look at Exakick, he's come back with 2 long swords in his inventory. He's clearly stronger, so they can pressure that lane.
No, you're completely right. That was actually a very smart interrupt, and also he's been able to recover his health. You know, he's got the sustain, so he's A-okay on that front as iLevi can't really do too much.
When I see a Yasuo in the game, whether it's like mid lane, jungle, support, whatever it is, I'm looking at that, at the huge impact that a wind wall could have in the game, like versus Seraphine or something that can stop a huge ult. Right here, I don't necessarily see stopping anything huge. Maybe it's a Sejuani or Draven ult, but that's about it. DOS.
Oh, Daglas is being caught out. They're looking to lock him down. DOS with a great flank. The flash comes in. Dominant actually flashes over the wall. Locks multiple people down. Here comes the Yasuo, only level 5. And DOS is going to have to flash. Oh! iLevi gets himself a knock up. He's cornered. He's down. DOS finds first blood.
That is a support Yasuo. There are no aggressive items. Offensive items onto this Yasuo, and he dives into 3 people. Insta gets CC'd by DOS's Leona and ends up giving a kill over to LDLC. And this is scary territory right now, because giving kills and gold leads over to an LFL team who knows so well how to use these leads and snowball them are extremely dangerous. And honestly, this trade looked pretty positive for Anorthosis. I'm not gonna lie right there. DOS, together with Yike, and having a really nice roam right here. They find Daglas. Daglas soaks up so much of the damage from both DOS and Yike. The Ignite was used as well. The second flashes out, Dominant also gets the exhaust. So that's 3 flashes so far. 2 summoner spells as well, the exhaust and the Ignite. All Anorthosis has to do is chill back and relax after this one, and then possibly...
Oh no. Nowhere to go. Dominant's going down. Eika will find the kill. And that's them being punished for that earlier flash over the wall when what was just not particularly the greatest play for them. Ica now set up for success as Daglas will find Ragner here. Won't be able to do anything about that crab going down. Ragner, great rotation into the mid lane to make sure that kill was guaranteed, and then just a bit of denial from the enemy jungler as well on the way out.
Now the question is, Hiprin, when you play Yasuo mid, your power spike lies at about 0.9, 0.10, or 0.11, right? If you're playing solo queue. What is your power spike when you support?
I think it's the same.
Is it? Because you're not really farming though, I support.
You're farming deaths though, and that's all you need on Yasuo. It's not about items. It's about the I got this factor once you hit that 0.10 spike. And now though, Dominant is just being bullied, and he is locked down. He has shuffled away, able to lock people in place, has the Vanguard's edge, and Dominant's actually holding on for a fair amount of time here. Ica goes low, but DOS comes in as well. They can't quite find the damages. iLevi has been caught himself, only level 5, so can't really do too much more here. Needs to hit that level 6 so he can find the knock-up. Yike, Heartbreakers over the wall to safety.
Look at that,
Adiss are getting pretty heavily bullied here.
Yeah, Adiss though has roamed all the way for that dragon.
Golden Toast, what are you doing, man? Just reveal yourself and go down. Yike, able to find himself yet another kill.
And again, LDLC and LFL teams are just so quick on capitalizing on mistakes. And I feel like Anorthosis are overstepping their boundaries a little bit. We mentioned how impactful could be, you know, the Kalista ult on the Yasuo, you're knocking people up with the Yasuo, and then Yasuo can instantly ult, knocking them up again. So there is a chain of CC there between the Kalista and the Yasuo that can actually work for a pick with the Gragas, with the Irelia around. But they're making these fights way earlier than their level 6 power spikes, way earlier than they have these wombo combos to try and lock people down. And LDLC are more than happy to capitalize. 3,000 gold in the lead. Oh, and they're actually looking for whoever walks back in lane. It's going to be one of the tankier members with 2 Ruby Crystals as well in this pocket. Adiss should not necessarily fear walking up too much, but again, you can't walk through this long lane to that second tower without being threatened, especially with Draven.
Is able to just about dodge away on that Zenith Blade though, so we'll be able to pick up most of this wave, although they are just looking for the dive on him as well. Exakick gonna hold a little bit longer, needs someone to take to aggro for him, has got that, and they've got the CC to lock him in place. Draven will be getting the cash in as well. Bunch of extra gold over to Exakick as he heals away to get away from the tower. Great interrupt as well to follow with that stand aside.
I'm actually surprised here that Dominant did not press his teleport. While the fight was going on, while Adiss was actually being dived, I feel like the Gragas survived for so long, having the cast, having the body slam, having the extra regeneration through the W as well. Had Dominant actually TP'd down there, he could have potentially turned this dive around, especially since Kalista, Yasuo, and that Lillia were on the way, and Lillia got a pretty nice sleep right there. So let's see this again. As you will see, Dominant is shoving in the wave in the mid lane. He has nothing to do. So the second this dive actually starts happening, he could have pressed teleport and tried to set the top laner. You see how the sleep right there goes down. That would have been something to cash in, get that Irelia ahead, get something started to get going for the Greek organization right here. But unfortunately, it is going to be LDLC walking away with yet another kill.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely a bit of a mistake there, guys. I was, during that replay, I was seeing if Dominant was near Ica, and maybe that was why he was worried, because he just get interrupted. Ica was at the chicken camp, so Dominant was actually okay to do that teleport. Decided not to go for it, and ultimately, it cost them, you know, a kill on their top laner, but at least nothing more. That tower does still stand. I don't think any plates were picked up on the tail end of it, because Anorthosis were able to rotate it through in time. So there is a world where you could argue maybe they were able to hold their teleports and could use them for a bigger moment, as neither team has actually turned their attention towards this dragon so far, Trouble. It's been a little bit more relaxed on the front of the dragons, as Eika is going to get shuffled as he sends Dominant back. The Heartbreaker will land, and Yike will find the kill. 0-3 for Dominant.
I feel like right here for LDLC to actually start doing dragons and heralds, they're actually quote-unquote wasting very valuable time that they have. They're actually ahead. They can use the Draven to get more kills. 3-0 and 2 onto Yikes. What is this one? It's a Viego.
Mountain?
Come on.
Oh, Viego.
Come on, keep brain.
You're the one who can't remember.
Onto Yikes, Viego. Hold on.
Oh, get a good lock down there for the moment. The Windwall's actually doing a lot to stop Exakick. They are looking to try and come in. Ica makes his way forwards. As down they go, iLevi has to flash away, but he is going oh so low, able to survive just a little bit longer.
There's no way.
But how long can he hold? The Vanguard's edge comes in, the teleport's there as well. The bowling ball making its way down, and Exakick is going to get himself an interrupt onto Dominant. Dominant's a little bit too low, trying to heal back up, and it feels like Anorthosis are running out of options. They get a good cast off. There we go. The last breath lands onto one, but it's a support Yasuo, so the damage is minuscule. Dominant, his heart is broken. A double kill for Yike as he can continue the chase forward onto Adiss. Adiss able to get over the wall, but he is caught Heartbreaker towards, and he will be getting picked up. Nowhere for him to go. Ica with the Sand Soldiers able to pick that kill up, and LDLC 10-0 over Anorthosis right now.
And honestly, that shouldn't be a big of a shocker, right? Anorthosis coming into this group of death, if you will, with LDLC, Go Rogue, X7, all teams who made quarterfinals, LDLC making finals of the EU Masters in spring, as well as Yike might be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, just a little bit, but he's doing a pretty good job on sustaining that Blade of the Ruin King. Heartbreaker damage! iLevi on the Yasuo will come in and save the day. Daglas with the shutdown.
So again, we were saying that LDLC are playing a little bit more aggressive.
No, Dominant. You're not on the Yasuo. You don't need to go 0-10.
That was unfortunate. Again, here we see Adiss joins the fray, and I'm surprised that Adiss goes in with the cask and doesn't instantly faceplant into Exakick. He was right next to him, very low on mana, very low on HP, but they tried to go for the grouped up members. Again, LDLC very healthy in this particular skirmish, and they end up taking Ano apart. Reminded this Yasuo, he's not equipped with offensive items. He's just got skill caps, and that's about it. He's just a tanky-ish Yasuo support who is, if we can toggle to gold really quickly, just to compare it to possibly the gold that the mid laner would have right now, you'll see that it's about 1,000 gold down to Dominant, right? Who is about 2,000 gold down to Ica on the other side. So you see the difference right there, and LDLC might be looking for yet another dive. Yasuo is around to stop the ultimate from Draven. That comes down, but yeah, we're talking about how it's not necessarily a shocker, and this is to be expected, especially when LDLC went all the way to the finals in spring versus K-Corp, took them all the way to 5 games, when they did win the LFL in summer as well, very convincingly. So LDLC are a force to be feared, and Dos is right now backing on top of a ward, and he's alone.
Yeah, Dominant is looking for him. Hasn't really got too much damage. Gets the Vanguard's edge on. There's the last breath as well. The Ignite Dos is tanking everything. A solar flare lands onto 2, but a great wind wall has come out. But Dominant, he's out of juice. He's got nothing left in the tank. The whirling death from Exakick will secure him a double kill. Daglas maybe next up on the menu. Taken away by Ica. And now Golden Toast has to keep running away as his team have fallen apart around him. This tower will not last for long as Yike jumping him forward. Can't quite find himself the lockdown. Golden Toast will just be able to survive.
Yeah, and that is exactly the power when you are 10,000 gold ahead in 50 minutes. LDLC have absolutely accelerated this game out of control, and Anorthosis would need a bloody miracle to come back into this one. I don't know how many items this Yasuo is going to take to be relevant. I don't know how many items this Kalista will need to take, will need to have to poke, even with a toothpick, Ragner on the Sejuani, who, by the way, has yet to join a fight. He's literally been perma-farming the top side of the map, whilst Adiss has been put towards the bottom of the map for clearing duty. He's been put to teleport to save his teammates. So all in all, it's Ano trying to reach out and find aggressive plays, and they're being caught in places they shouldn't be, like Domi right now.
Oh, Dominant looking to go 0-7 here, unfortunately taken out by Yike. 16 minutes on the clock, and LDLC are looking to play an incredibly fast game. But they're not making mistakes. They're not overreaching, overstaying. They're playing this game very smart, very controlled. And Ica looking for a kill onto Golden Toast. Golden Toast not going to be able to survive this one as he is taken down as well. A single kill for Anorthosis versus LDLC 16 kills. And they're looking to start to crack open more and more turrets now. As Exakick looking for iLevi, is able to just about hold on thanks to the wind wall. Not going to get himself into too much danger.
Yeah, and honestly, big props to Ica as well for an extremely respectful build, I would say. He's going for the crown, which we see a lot of Azirs do, but usually when you snowball the game very early on, when you're 12,000 gold at least 17 minutes in, you will usually see the Azir going towards something like a Luden's Echo, or something like Andries to do a bit more damage. But crown right here, very respectful towards the Irelia. I just want to say that even if this Irelia goes 0 and 10, if you do go onto 1v1 versus the Azir will probably lose that one, because Irelia is an absolutely busted champion and does have the blade of the Ruin King. So when you go toe-to-toe, I think very respectful build coming from Ica, having the exhaust as well there, knowing how dominant he is. A very aggressive player in the middle, and he will try to take the 1 versus 1 to you. This time, though, it has not come into fruition. He finds himself 0-7 and 0. And again, I think this game is as good as done. The only problem is that right now there's a bunch of wave clear for the side of Anorthosis, and of course, because the towers are still very strong, due to the fact that you don't have a bunch of items from the side of LDLC to take them down really quickly, it's gonna take a little while. But talking about the 1v1.
This is getting quite close, but nope, Ica able to survive it. Dominant did a pretty good job considering he was 0-7 at the time of that fight, but not going to be enough. Ragner now kind of just been on split push duty on the Sejuani, now being run down by all of Anorthosis. As Golden Toast is going to flash forward. They got the last breath to keep him locked up for as long as possible, and Ragner I think he may just be sacrificed here to the side of Anorthosis as there's too much crowd control. Nowhere for him to go, but the rest of LDLC, they're here in the wings, and they might just be looking to take a fight themselves. They've got that charge on the Herald as Yike jumps in forwards, the teleport's coming out, and they've actually got the Daglas putting everyone to sleepers. They're going to get a whole bunch of extra damage out for the moment. The wind wall's pretty solid as Eika, though, got the Sand Soldiers over the wall, putting a whole lot of damage down as Yike comes in as well. Chasing for a little bit more. Tane finds himself a legendary kill, an Exakick on the flank. Collects a double kill. Dominant will be going down for the triple kill. The stopwatch to make sure Exakick's able to survive just a little bit longer. He's ticking down. The shutdown for Daglas. Eika will be looking for revenge for his AD carry as Daglas is being sent back to the fountain, but his team are in the base. They've got Rift Herald as well. Yike may just look for the dancing Rift Herald to close this game out, but the death timers are still fairly small right now. Anorthosis have more and more people coming in to save the day. They're going to Hex Gate out to safety. They've got the flank coming in from the Gragas as Yike will find himself caught out, trying to get the healing off. iLevi's trying to get himself a bit of a save, and he will be able to do so. Daglas finds another kill.
Is on the offensive right here. They've just lost an inhibitor and they're trying to pick up scattered pieces from LDLC. The Baron is going to come up in this 25 seconds on Yike, but how much damage do you have on the side of Anna? There's one item onto this Kalista, and actually there is a Draven on Exakick who's still up and around, has the ultimate. Oh, here comes.
Oh, look at that damage on the Whirling Death. It's huge. DOS tanking a fair amount here, able to flash away, but Eika is now back into the fray. And Anorthosis are just going to have to get sent packing. There is nothing they can do. The waves are slowly but surely making their way towards them. Dominant is being interrupted on his recall. He can't get away as he is going down yet again. Another kill in LDLC's pocket. They are getting more than a kill a minute right now. Oh. And they're looking for a Baron as well.
And remember, there's still the Rift Herald in the pocket. It's going to get popped right now. Yike popping over the blue buff wall. So what LDLC can actually do here is cash in on that Baron, go into that mid lane together with Ragner, who's pushing the wave, and
he's just having so much fun right now. The team of Baron, they have Rift Herald. This is looking like an Earth Baron where you get the Herald as well. They're going to get charges galore. They've got waves shoving in on the top side. They've got another charge onto the inhibitor. This inhibitor's going down. We're not going to get a dancing Baron, but we may just get a charge out unless Anorthosis can find some kind of an answer. No, charge will go down, so that tower chunks heavily. The wind wall has come out. And it looks like LDLC will be looking to close this game out. The solar flare from DOS, not quite on mark, but they're going to stand aside onto Adiss, and he will be taken down as well. Another kill in the pocket of LDLC. It has been clean, it has been clinical, and it has been an enormous game for the group favorites here from LDLC. We were hyped by the Yasuo, but unfortunately, turns out Yasuo support, not really a thing. As his team find 4 kills and are taken down for the quadra kill on to the Viego. Yike denied the Penta to close it out. 22 minutes on the clock. Exakick is going to lose his life as Golden Toast finds a triple kill. DOS, you need to end the game.
DOS end?
You can do it, DOS, I believe. He's got Golden Toast on him, though. It's a quadra kill for Golden Toast. LDLC played with their food, so they still have an open base to close this out with.
Oh no, I thought this was going to be a very quick game from the side of LDLC. But they choose to not buffer a little bit these KDAs right before this game is over, but I'm expecting to see 5-man stack from LDLC just moving down that mid lane. There's 2 super minion waves pushing in through mid and top of the sort of Anorthosis. There is no Nexus tower, very crucially protecting their Nexus, so all LDLC has to do is just walk in the base, slap Anorthosis with their wallets and their items right now, and as we'll see again, the fight that breaks in the base again, and LDLC just engage on the first target that they see. The tankiest member is going to be that Gragas. The second he goes down, this is it. And again, you see how I've seen Yike picking up members after they die, and it's the follow-up that he has from all of these champions that he picks up is just so cool and instrumental towards, because he picks up the Gragas, he body slams someone else, he just carries forward and chases them down. He picks up Kalista, he does the same. He picks up Irelia, he dashes forward, he does the same. There is so much follow-up, but all of these champions that Yike is picking up, that I feel like the Viego pick right here was gold.
Yeah, it was so effective for them. While we were in that replay, the Dragon was taken down by LDLC, and I feel like they may look to try and have a bit of a cleaner end to this game than the previous starts, as waves are coming in on all sides. Maybe they can find that big Yasuo wombo combo. They get a big sleep onto multiple members, but it doesn't matter because they've already lost the Gragas. iLevi's used the last breath just onto one, but it's not going to be enough. They've got to deal with the wave inside the base, and Eika and Exakick are still untouched. They've used the Lillia sleep as well. That tower incredibly low. Now LDLC actually unable to end quite yet, but they do have a teleport coming in. Ragnar's going to rejoin up with the rest of the team. They put a wind wall down just to try and block out a little bit. Exakick eats another bowling ball here from that swirl seed on Daglas as they find a quick interrupt onto the Yas. Down he goes. They're looking to close this one out. The shuffle's going to be enough this time. Doss able to pick himself up the kill. And LDLC going to take this game 30 kills in under 25 minutes.
Now, we can't say this was dominance win, but it was definitely a dominant win from the side of LDLC. And of course, when we're comparing two teams, right, one coming from the DLL, the other one to be a favorite from the tournament, this is exactly what we talk about when we say dominant victory. For a team, this is what we're possibly looking forward. When we saw that SK Prime versus Valiant's game and LDLC just put up a show, they were just individually better in every single lane. I feel the draft was better. I'm not sure what the Yasuo was supposed to provide in this particular team, and I feel like LDLC just ran Anorthosis over.
Well, we actually have Ragner standing by for an interview after that game. So Ragner, hello and welcome. How are you feeling right now?
I mean, I feel good as a top lane. I get a free win by doing nothing, so it feels nice.
I was about to talk about that. I was about to talk about that because it was very much like you know, everyone kind of picked a crazy game and it was madness, and then we just cut to you taking a tower. So you kind of just got to sit back. You know, talk to me about like what was it like kind of playing out a game where that bot lane was kind of chaotic, everything else was, you know, mid was quite explosive, and you were just on kind of Sejuani duty, you know, just taking towers and just kind of playing your own game.
I mean, it's like my solo queue games. Better team wins. I pick tank. It's a miserable, like, I don't want to play top and I will swap role next year.
Oh, okay, okay. Since you said you would swap, where would you possibly swap? If right now your teammates were like, okay, Ragnar, choose support. Yeah. So you would put Doss over in the top lane, you would take his position.
Yeah, I mean, I probably kick Doss out of the team.
Okay.
Because I'm better support probably. I'm joking.
Of course.
Okay, Ragnar. Let's talk a little bit about the actual the current standings, because you guys, you know, you dropped a game to X7. Yeah. You know, it wasn't particularly amazing for you because you really wanted, and you are, as far as I'm aware, and what everyone has been saying online, the favorites in your group. You know, what kind of happened in that game, and how are you going to amend that issue going into the second week of the groups?
I mean, I think the draft was fine, but we just played bad. Honestly, we didn't think about. Actually, we did think about their late mate, but we didn't do anything. We couldn't stop them, and I mean, it was also fine. But after that, the game kind of broke, and they took everything, and we didn't have tools to, how do you say, reach to Zeri. So she basically 1v9 the game, and we kind of outdrafted. Well, I mean, the draft was fine, but after that lead, we couldn't do shit. You know, we can't reach Zeri, so she 1v9. That's it. So basically, next week we're gonna do better draft for sure. I mean, it's nice to lose because we are the team, like not losing too much, but getting stomped like this, it's fine, you know. Like we are gonna get them next week.
I mean, you learn more from your losses than your wins, don't you? Yeah. Really. So, you know, take that going into your games coming up next week. Congratulations on probably one of the most bonkers game we've had for a little while. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll speak to you soon, Ragnar. See you later.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Trouble, this is going to be a bit of an interesting one for you because I'm now going to ask you to break this game down.
Oh, I'm gonna break down what Ragner said about replacing his support and taking his position.
It was actually a good interview. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, I think it was a stomp by LDLC, right? Every single lane won. I think the draft was superior right here. They did everything they could to counter the Kalista. So even if that wasn't a Yasuo support in the bot lane, Draven does really good into the Kalista. Azir does really good into the Kalista. Viego and Sejuani were so key here. Like, Ragner played PvE for the entirety of that game, and his team just won 4 versus 5. So you can see why he would want to swap with being the support here, taking Doss's position and like shoving Doss up in the top lane, because he's like, guys, this was an extremely boring game. I don't ever want to play this again. I did pretty much nothing but press ultimate maybe once at the very end of the fight. But yeah, I think LDLC coming in as the favorites. They had like about what 15k gold lead 20 minutes in, and they just ended up cleanly.
Yeah, because it felt like LDLC were expecting a normal game because Sejuani was the first pickup. So they picked a Sejuani going, oh, it's going to be a normal game. And then suddenly the draft goes a little bit crazy and it moves away. Exakick having a very, very good game on his Draven, to be fair. Definitely a game where he was able to kind of pull it out because the Kalista was a pickup here. And, you know, Draven has a pretty decent matchup into that Kalista. You can kind of harass her early because, like you were saying, in game, when you pick Kalista, you want to win lane early, and then they pick it with a Yasuo, and suddenly any opportunity for this Kalista to win lane has just evaporated. And, you know, I don't really want to kind of look too much into it. I have my theories on why Anorthosis kind of went this way. I think they were probably feeling a little bit doomed in this group after the start they'd had, and versus LDLC, a team who are very strong. Maybe they just wanted a bit of fun to kind of clear their mind going into that second week. And yes, it also looked like LDLC, you know, they had a bit of fun here as well. They could have ended this game a little bit quicker than they did, but they decided to go for the pentakill. Exakick maybe overstepped a little bit as well. Instead of ending the game, thought he can maybe take that.
You know what? I think
ego checked and the game went on a little longer.
I think Exakick entered his jungler right there because his jungler was going for a pentakill and he didn't walk on that fountain for a single auto attack. So if I was Yike and I rewatched that and I was like, yeah, the team decided to go for the pentakill, I would report Exakick there.
But you can see as well, like, Iker had an absolutely killer game on the Azir. I mean, yes, dominance, Irelia wasn't particularly the hottest thing on the Rift today, if we're going to be completely real with you. Pretty poor performance coming in from him on that. And, you know, we were excited because Irelia is a really fun champion to watch. You know, very kind of very flashy, very fast, but just getting completely slammed and a lot of attention going into dominant on that in that mid lane, and ultimately it ended in an LDLC win. But we are going to throw to a quick break before we get going into game number 3. Remember, guys, make sure you head over to Amazon Prime and get your Prime reward games for League of Legends because it resets today, so get yourself some free skins. See you in a moment for game number 3.